So we're learning a new trick for factoring. This one is factoring the sum and difference of cubes. Right? We already have the difference of squares, so if you have x squared minus 4, we know how to factor that. Now we're going to look at when we have like x cubed minus 8 or x cubed plus 8. There's a trick that we have for factoring that will make things go a lot quicker for you. First thing I want to do is remind you guys of cube roots of 1 through 10. So 1 cubed is 1, kind of simple. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is 27. 4 cubed is 64. 5 cubed is 125. 6 cubed is 216. 7 cubed is 343. 8 cubed is 512. 9 cubed is 729. And 10 cubed is 1,000. You should memorize these. It will make your life easier. Trust me. All right, so steps for factoring the sum and difference of cubes. Number 1, always, always, always check for a GCF. If it exists, factor it out. If not, move on to step 2. Step 2 is we're going to find the cube root of both terms. And we're going to place the cube roots in that first parentheses. Right? We're going to use a new acronym, SMS. Has nothing to do with texting. And another one, SOAP. Right? So what are our formulas? Let me go write these over here. So if you have a cubed plus b cubed, that is going to factor into a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. And if you have a cubed minus b cubed, that's going to be a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. All right, so what are these new acronyms and why do we got to learn them? All right, the acronym for SOAP is going to be same, opposite, and always positive. And when we're talking about that, we are talking about the signs. So here, same, opposite, always positive. Right? And you notice that's true whether we are talking about a cubed plus b cubed or a cubed minus b cubed. So that is our first acronym. Our second one is SMS, which is square multiply and square. Right? And then when we're talking about that, we are talking about this second one. So the first term is going to be a squared. Second term is going to be a times b, multiply. Third term is going to be b squared. So square multiply square. So how does that look like when we're actually getting started? Oh, glad you asked. All right, first example is c cubed minus 8. Right? If it helps to think about it this way, we can write it as c cubed minus 2 cubed. Right? So we're going to go back to our formula. This is going to give us c minus 2 times c squared plus 2c plus 4. Right, now remember, going back to our acronyms, we have same, opposite, always positive. Right? That is our SOAP right there. Now for the other acronym, we have our first term squared, our terms multiplied by each other, and our last term squared. And that will work no matter what problem I give you. So let's look at the next one. All right, we have 125 x cubed minus 216 y cubed. We can think of that as 5 times x cubed minus 6 times y cubed. A whole lot simpler now, isn't it? So now we got it. First thing minus the second. Well, we have to be careful of our signs. Okay, so we're going to be careful of our signs. So we have 5x minus 6y times the first thing squared, so 25x squared. Right? Opposite sign. So then these two things times each other, so 30xy, always positive, 36y squared. Let me write that a little bit neater. And then we're just going to remember our SOAP, same, opposite, always positive. And then we are also going to remember our square. Let's write S because that's our acronym. So square multiply and square. Next example, I have x cubed plus 343. That is going to be the same thing as saying quantity x cubed plus 7 cubed. Right? So now we're going to go, I have x plus 7 times x squared. Oops, got to do an opposite sign here. Minus 7 times x plus x, or I'm sorry, the last thing squared, which is going to be 49. So we're going to have same, opposite, always positive. And then here we're going to have square multiply square. Go back and check yourself any single time. It will make your life easier. All right, next one. You know, I don't have anything cubed here, do I? 2 is not a perfect cube. But what's the first thing we always do when we're factoring? First thing we look for. Is it GCF? Right? So 2 times y to the 9th plus 64. Now we've got something we can work with, all right? This is going to be 2 because we don't get rid of our GCF. It's still there, right? This is going to be y cubed plus 4 cubed. Now this is something we can use, right? This is going to give us 2 because we keep our GCF. Y, so it's the same. Y plus 4 times y squared opposite 4y. Oh, and I am already not being careful. This is y cubed. Nope. Y cubed squared is to the 6th minus 4 times y cubed, always positive, 16. Next example. Let's go purple. All right. First thing I need to do is look for a GCF, and I have one. So this is 1 plus n to the 6th. Right? And we can think of this as 5 times the quantity 1 cubed plus n squared cubed. This is going to be 5 times 1 plus n squared. 1 squared is still 1, plus 1 times n squared is going to be n squared. And then n squared squared is going to be n to the 4th. And just slow down and work through the steps, and you will be good. Let's go over here. All right, again, we have a GCF, and we have 2, actually. Well, 4 times m is going to give me m cubed minus 27. Right, so keeping my GCF, I have 4 times m. This is going to be m minus 3 times m squared plus 3m plus 9. Right? And if you didn't see this before, this is because this is going to be m cubed minus 3 cubed. And that's way off the paper, so. And of course, if you need to go back to it, just remember we've got same, opposite, always positive. So soap. And that's based on this right here. And then here we have squared, multiply, and square. Anytime you need to remind yourself of how things get where they are, you can always do that. And that is factoring perfect cubes. Now, next thing we're going to do is start putting all of that together so we can factor larger polynomials.